Okay, and now for the type that I feel particularly cold towards, Ice. And honestly, looking back at it, I'm actually surprised that I've left Ice this long. It should have been before Grass. The only redeeming quality that Ice has is that it has Ice Beam, an attack which is just cool. Yeah, I've seen Batman and Robin. I can keep those coming all day. Ice, like Grass and Steel, was pretty hard for me to think of favourite Pokemon for. But in this case it's more because Ice really doesn't have that many Pokemon. It only has 37 Pokemon, and that's if you count the 2 alternate Kyurem forms, meaning that it makes up 5% of all Pokemon. It's not very big. Nonetheless, I was able to throw together a top 5, and here it is. Alright, so this bottom spot is taken by a combination of Delibird and Glaceon. I could not figure out which one I liked more. Hint, it was Glaceon, but I don't actually like Glaceon that much, and I like the idea behind Delibird. He's a bird that delivers presents. And, you know, he dresses like Santa Claus. He's a Santa penguin. I like this about him. On the other hand, you've got Glaceon, who I sort of have to like by dint of being an evolution, even though it's my least favourite of the evolutions. So in contention for this spot, I'd probably have to say that I like Delibird more than Glaceon, but only marginally. Yeah, this was a really difficult list to put together. Luckily, the next 4 Pokemon on the list are actually primarily Ice types that I do like, starting with Froslass. I really like Froslass. I don't know what it is, I just think she's pretty chill. Told you, I can keep them coming. I think what I like most about Froslass is the ghost typing, and the fact that it's based on this really chilling legend. Froslass is based on a sort of urban legend kind of thing, where there was this old lady who would entice adventurers who were adventuring in the snowy mountains to stay in their hut and warm up, only to disappear later and steal their souls, because that's what ghosts do, and surprise, the woman was actually a ghost! Froslass is based on this, and being a fan of horror, this is a cool thing to me. Froslass gets the 4th spot. So number 3, Mamoswine. I remember my first encounter with its Prevolution, Piloswine. I remember my first encounter with Piloswine. It was in the Mahogany Gym under the command of Price. And as someone who started with Typhlosion, I thought, hey, an ice gym, this'll be a cakewalk. No, they're all either paired with water or ground, so they definitely had ways of combating. I was surprised and not a happy camper. But I did think that Piloswine was immeasurably interesting. At first I kept calling it Piloswine because I was 6 and I wasn't really sure on how to pronounce things, but that then got corrected for me by Pokemon Stadium 2, where the announcer was like, oh my god, it's a Piloswine! I was, and am, easily amused. But yeah, it then got an evolution in 4th generation with Mamoswine. And to be honest, Mamoswine is one of the 4th gen evolutions that does it well. I mean, a lot of them are really terrible. Looking at you, Licky. But Mamoswine is one of the few that they got right. Also, you can ride them in X and Y, and that's loads of fun. And like Yanmega and Tangrowth, it has a really interesting method of evolution. It's based on the woolly mammoth, a creature that went extinct ages ago. So, to evolve, your Piloswine has to know Ancient Power, signifying that it's got skills from the old ages. So, we've had a mammoth, we've had a bird, we've had Glaceon, and we've had an evil spirit that steals souls. What else do we want? A walrus? Okay. Walrein is pretty cool. I like Walrein. I think the whole Spheal-Cilio Walrein family is a step up from Seal and Dugong. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know what it is, I just find walruses amazingly hilarious. I think they're funny, for some reason. It's probably the giant mustaches, they remind me of Dr. Eggman. And like most Pokemon, Walrein gets a spot because I used it in-game. Getting Spheal to evolve into a Celio and then getting that to evolve into a Walrein, I sort of felt like I'd earned the right to use Walrein, as I remember it being a difficult task. Once again, I was younger. And I just remember this image of it being an incredibly powerful Ice-type Pokemon. I don't think that's actually the case now, but to my mind it was, and probably will always be. So Walrein makes its mark on my top 2nd Ice-type Pokemon. But who gets number 1 position? Well, Number 1 position is Articuno, the flying ice bird from Kanto. There are plenty of reasons that Articuno gets the top spot on this list, even though I haven't ever actually used an Articuno. For one thing, it has the really cool combo of lock-on and sheer cold, meaning it can OHK anything in the game, so given that it survives a hit. Second, it has the status of being the first part of the first legendary trio ever. So it definitely makes a mark on the world of Pokemon. Compared to Zapdos and Moltres, it's not pointy and spiky and deadly like Zapdos is, and it doesn't look kind of ridiculous like Moltres does. It's graceful. Except in Pokemon 2000 where it gets beaten up a lot and dies. But shh. Then you also have the fact that Articuno is one of the very first ice types, and is, in fact, the first primary ice type that isn't Jinx. So it definitely wins, because Jinx was never going to be on this list. And every time I've seen an Articuno, from Pokemon Snap through to Pokemon Conquest, and even in the main games, it's just really... I like Articuno. I even like the novelty of finding it in the Seafoam Islands only by taking a certain path. In Gen 1, back before it became one of these really annoying roaming Pokemon. Seriously, does anyone actually like chasing these roaming Pokemon around? So all in all, because of the things I just listed, and because there aren't many other cool ice types, Articuno takes away the first spot. And those were my top 5 ice types. I know I didn't have very much to say about them, but like I said, not a huge fan of ice. Except for attacking, I love using Ice Beam. It's just cool. Funnily enough though, it is weak to what the next type will be. What is that type? I'm not going to tell you, but it will rock your world. Because it's rock. I'm just so full of puns today. So if you want to see that one and you're not yet subscribed, subscribe so you don't miss it when it comes out. Make sure to like this video, share it on the social medias. Oh, by the way, I'm on Facebook now, so if you like that, thanks, I guess. Channel link over here. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.